This is going to be the beginning of a series of videos looking at weight loss and support of those in weight loss that are trying to lose weight, whether it's 100 pounds, 10 pounds. I'm not going to be discussing diet and exercise or anything like that. My discussions are going to be psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually related. I was saying before that I think that we're in a season of darkness, a little bit here on YouTube and outside of YouTube. I just had a huge argument with a family member yesterday, and I cannot remember the last time I've had an argument. I mean, not to that extent. I don't normally argue. That's just not my style, because normally I think that if you argue, no one hears each other. It's just easier to kind of let it settle and then come back to it as a discussion. And I let some emotions get really out of control yesterday, and I was talking to Rosemary this morning, not about this, but just in general thing, that I'm just seeing things on YouTube that show me that I'm not alone. There's a lot of misunderstanding. People are not listening, and when they do listen, they're hearing not what's being said, but what they think is being said, filtered through a veil of defensiveness. And that's dangerous, and that's hurtful. That's where hurt comes in. Because if you say something to me, and you say, Helen, notice your skin is not really looking the way. If you're a good friend, now if you're just gonna say this to me from YouTube, you're gonna get some stuff back. But we're good friends, and you say to me, your skin doesn't look like it's looked before. Okay, and so basically that sentence is, your skin does not look the way it looked before. Simple sentence. I'm struggling with my skin, and I've been struggling with. I'm saying that in this scenario, I've been struggling with my skin, and I'm upset about my skin, and I feel like the people are staring at it. So when I hear you, I don't hear you to say, Helen, your skin doesn't look the same. I hear, Helen, you look a mess, and your skin is ugly, because I'm hearing it through a veil of defense. So the way that works is that then I haven't, what are you talking about? And then you're coming back with what all I said was, which is really all you said was. And then I say, but you really meant. There's no way that I know what you really meant. There's no way that I know what you really meant. I'm not you. And I think that we got a lot of that going on everywhere. YouTube is a microcosm of the world. People say that that people hide behind the YouTube and that they're different people in person. And I think we're all different people, even when we first meet each other. Everybody kind of you can be as real as you want to real, but as real as you can be. But you do want to present your best foot forward. We're taught that from the moment that we can speak by our parents, most of us. So to say that I'm exactly the same way in person that I am when that I am here, that's not the case. Because number one, when I first meet you, I probably will be having a little bit of makeup on, put some eyelashes on, something. I'm gonna present my best foot. Having said that, there's also people who are hurting and are crying out and have some mental issues, and they're on YouTube. And we tend to throw around the terms, you're crazy, or she's crazy. I say it. And there are people actually who are out there who are mentally disabled, who have chemical imbalances. Our bodies are made up of chemicals. Our brains are made up of chemicals. When those chemicals become out of whack, excuse me, when those chemicals become out of whack, it can cause us to act inappropriately, out of character, all kinds of things. I mean, we know as women, when we have our cycles, that's a chemical thing. It's a physical outcome, but what makes it go, the process that starts is chemical. This is released, that's released, this is in, lining sheds. It's chemical. If you have a urinary tract infection, that affects your brain. A lot of older people, when they're in Subacute rehabs or nursing homes. A lot of times the first thing that you notice about someone when you're working with them, if they're out of character from one day to the next, if they're confused, 9 times out of 10 it's a UTI. And once they get that, because your electrolytes, your water balance, your body fluids, they're out of balance. So it affects the way you work. But see, what we've done in the society is that we stigmatize anything that has to do with helping what goes on in the melon. We've stigmatized it. If you go to a therapist, then you're this wrong. If you take medication, then you're a pill popper. If you do this, then you're wrong. You're just crazy. Suck it up. Be a big girl. What's the matter with we don't let ourselves be who we are. We are living in a time of stress. The amount of stress that people are under, and I don't know where, unless you live in some place, and if you are and you don't have no stress, send me the real estate listings for that area and the job, because that's where I want to move, where there's no stress. I want to move someplace where a loaf of bread, where a loaf of bread is not almost $5. Okay, that kind of stress. Where gas is not, where the money's staying the same as coming in, but everything else is getting more and more and more and more and more. Where oil, is not $1,000 for a tank of oil to heat a house. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the stressors that we don't even realize. I'm talking about people who don't necessarily work, who don't necessarily have government or jobs that could go under. Real estate agents, people who were okay and the market fell out, and every day they got to go to work with a pit in their stomach because they got to make sure that they have a job. And we have no outlet for stress. We don't understand what we're supposed to do. Nobody tells us what we're supposed to do. Doctors will prescribe Xanax. They will prescribe this and they'll prescribe that very easily. And those are not the drugs that I'm talking about. I'm talking about sometimes you need something to balance out the neurotransmitters and things in your brain, the SSRIs. I'm not going to go into pharmacology. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here to say is that when you have an addiction, and food is an addiction to a lot of us, I would not say that I'm necessarily addicted to food. I love food, but I am an emotional eater. I don't eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm happy. I reward myself with food. And I do understand that if my metabolism was different, there, but for the grace of God, for whatever reason, I have not gone to a point larger than I'm always in the same kind of zone. I'm always somewhere near, size 10, 12. Even though I will buy a whole bunch of 8s and try to squeeze into them. If I can fit them for a day, I'll say I wear size 8, but I wear what fits. But I'm not had, I'm 46, I'll be 47 in September, and as of yet, I have not had any morbidly obese problems. That's genetics, who knows? I don't know what it is, okay? But I do know that I do struggle with the same stressors that everybody else does. One of my specialties that I do, and I think I've spoken this before, one of the things, my techniques is guided meditation. Nobody teaches us how to meditate. Sometimes you sit there and you say, oh, I'm young, that's not, that works for some people. It does. Doesn't work for me. I teach guided meditation. You can look it up. It's not something that I'm going to be doing on YouTube. But we have to watch out for our stress. We have to stop comparing ourselves to other people. I sit on this thing here, and I watch videos. If this is not recording, yes, and if I sit here and I watch people like Rose, and I'm actually a little sometimes in the beginning, and sometimes I'm envious. I'm like, gosh, why can't I look like that? I'm sitting here. This woman has weighed almost 500 pounds. She has gone through drastic surgery in her body to reroute her digestive system, and she has to work every single day to keep that weight off. Every day, a conscious effort has to be made for every minute that she's awake. And I'm sitting here saying, boy, I wish I could look like that. So we all have this thing where we compare ourselves to other people. And I don't know how that's ever going to change. I don't think that we can. I'm also not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything that Sally hasn't said. I'm not saying anything that Rose hasn't said. I just sometimes, if you hear it enough or you hear it from somebody from the outside looking in, I'm from the outside looking in. I've been following the WLSFA for over a year. If you look at my videos, I was, some of my earlier videos from last summer were like, you got to see this group, these people, Antonia, they're the best people, because I thought that it was just the most amazing idea because people, when you have that kind of thing, you need support. I have said this from the beginning, that every human needs some kind of support group. You know, Low Self-Esteem Anonymous, Acne Face at 46 Anonymous, my man is not paying me no attention Anonymous, my girlfriend my best friend is needy and she doesn't want to hear what I say Anonymous. We all need support groups. We all need a group of people that will, and here's the thing, here's what a support group does. A support group lets you come in and vent about what's wrong with you or what you feel, and then mirrors it back to you in a way that you can understand and that you can accept it. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't attack you. It doesn't tell you what to do. It guides you. It gives you support. A bra does not make you have breasts. So a support group can't make you do anything. It supports what you already have. Sorry about this. Okay, that's what a support group does. Doesn't tell you what to do, doesn't yell at you. I see some yelling. I've unsubscribed to a couple of people because I don't like the way they delivered their message. And I'm not talking about recently. I'm talking about, this is a while ago. I'm not talking about anything that's going on recently, because I'm not talking about that. That's been discussed enough. I'm talking about last year. People need love. We need to speak in love. And I can't remember who it was, but one of the members did something and she spoke about love and receiving things in love. And we're human, so now we're always not, no one knows what's going on in anybody else's life. But this is a phenomenal opportunity if you are a member of this group. It is a phenomenal opportunity because you have people all over the world that have experienced what you've experienced in various ways, whether it's the lap band, and I don't get it. What's wrong with the word clique? Has some high schoolish connotations to it, but we all have cliques in life. We all have our little group of people. I went to school with 26 people, and I had my little group that we gravitated together because we were like-minded. That doesn't mean that we excluded everybody else. We had a lot in common. We were in our 40s. We all had been out of school a certain amount of time. That's where subgroups form. And I think that what people don't understand is the group process. People have a tendency to form connections with people who they have something in common with. Now, the WLSFA is a huge group. And the commonality in that group is that everybody in that group has had, or I'm making a blanket statement, and I may be wrong, has had some form of weight loss surgery, or is thinking about having weight loss surgery, wants to have weight loss surgery, is married to somebody that had weight loss surgery. Okay, that's the big commonality. That's the big boy. That's up here. But then you have the subgroups. You have people who are maybe from New York that are thinking about, surgery, blah, 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 blah. Then you have people who are from the East Coast, then New York. Then you might have people that are from Orange County. But then you might have people who are 20. And then you might have people who drink. Or then you might have people who drink margaritas. And then you might have people who only drink margaritas with Cuervo. That last little group gets looked at by everybody else as a clique, but it's not. It's a commonality. It's a smaller filter, a funnel of what we as humans do. We've been doing it since we were kids. That's just the way we are. It's not a negative. It's only a negative when someone else feels that they want to be a part of that group, and A, they don't approach the group and say, hey, group, I like you. I want to be a part. Or B, they do that and the group shuts them out. But those are human negative points. Those are specific negative points based on those people. I don't believe that happens in every small group. I'm at 15 minutes. I'll be back. Let me know what you think. If you want me to keep talking, I will. If you want me to shut up, just say it nicely. Namaste.